What's been happening at Maitland Local Court this week? Well, this week 2 of 170 cases were listed, had published media stories. First was the sentencing of the New Year's Eve police pursuit. Second was the sentencing of the February Morphus burnout case. What the other 168 cases were about, I'm not sure. By the way, Maitland's doing Steam Fest. So why make this at the courthouse when you can come to the train station? You can't hear a thing. And no one cares that you're filming yourself. So if I could say one thing about this week's cases, it would be that I thought that 2 newspaper stories were a little different. There's no crime in that, rather I think it can result in a different impact to the audience. I think a legal story isn't just about informing us about what goes on at the court, but it should have an impact to deter us from appearing at court. In the first story, I noticed the majority of the content was about the guy's lengthy criminal history. There was only a mention of the jail sentence, which was what this week's court date was about. I thought it was a missed opportunity to also mention the sentencing considerations. How is the court dealing with someone who's repeatedly offending? However, there are no details. Whereas the newspaper story about the second case did have quotes from the magistrate during sentencing. So many people yelling. I think this level of detail provides more context. The community has the opportunity to hear how the court denounced the behaviour. The more meaty the story, the more likely that the community may be deterred from offending. But to get the detail, I think you have to be in the courtroom. And for that, I reckon you need a whole lot of time. And luck to be in the courtroom on the right day at the right time. I think the 2 newspaper stories from this week highlights the need for journalists. What if we knew what the other 168 cases were about? Can't hear it. Can't do the conclusion. In conclusion, I think it's great we're getting information about court cases. I prefer the newspaper stories that have the detail. How would you prefer to hear about court cases? And if you're not into trains, you just come across to the park and come to the car show. It's very cool.